No one questioned the chains. That was the first thing I learned on Karen Station. The outpost sat on the ragged edge of explored space, a rust-colored ring clinging to an asteroid field like a parasite that refused to die. It was a place where smugglers refueled, mercenaries drank away guilt, and forgotten wars quietly disposed of their leftovers. People came to Karen Station because no one asked questions, and because everyone agreed not to care, especially about the prisoners. I had been assigned there as a systems engineer, fixing life support nodes and jury-rigged power conduits that should have been decommissioned decades ago. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well, and after the war I didn't need excitement. I just needed distance. That was why I noticed her. She was chained in a cargo alcove near Dock 9, half hidden behind stacked crates marked with outdated hazard symbols. The chains were thick, grav-anchored to the deck, designed to hold something far stronger than a human. At first glance, I assumed she was dangerous. Everyone did. Then she looked up. Her skin wasn't green or scaled or monstrous like the holovids like to show. It was pale silver, almost luminescent, patterned with faint lines that glowed softly when she moved. Her eyes were large, faceted like cut crystal, reflecting the dim station lights. She wore a torn environmental wrap that barely counted as clothing, and there was dried blood along one side of her neck. She wasn't snarling. She wasn't resisting. She was exhausted. "Don't stare," a dockhand muttered as he passed me. "Property of the Jexel Syndicate. Dangerous species." "What did she do?" asked. I shrugged. "Exist, probably." That night I couldn't sleep. Karen Station hummed around me, metal groaning, distant engines coughing like old men. I kept seeing her eyes. Not afraid exactly, but alert. Watching. Waiting. The next day I brought a ration pack with me. She didn't reach for it when I knelt near the chains. Instead, she tilted her head slightly, studying me like she was trying to solve a puzzle. "You don't have to talk," I said quietly. "Just eat." After a long moment she did. Over the next few days I learned her name, or at least the closest translation my wrist unit could manage. Salith. She spoke in careful fragments, her voice soft and melodic, shaped by a language built on tonal shifts humans could barely hear. She told me she was a Lyrathi, an empathic species whose abilities made them valuable and dangerous in equal measure. The syndicates enslaved her kind, used them as living negotiation tools, lie detectors, or worse. "What did they use you for?" I asked once. Her eyes dimmed. I refused. That was enough. The station authorities knew she was there. Everyone did. But no one wanted trouble with the syndicate, and certainly not for an alien prisoner who didn't scream loud enough. On the 5th night the alarms went off. A skirmish in the outer docks. Syndicate ship undocking under fire. Confusion rippled through the station as mercenaries scrambled and power flickered. I didn't think. Ran. Dock 9 was half deserted, smoke hanging in the air. Salith was still there, chains glowing faintly as she struggled to stand. "They are leaving," she said. "They will not return." "They might," I replied, already prying open the control housing. "And if they do, they'll take you with them." The release sequence required authorization codes I didn't have, so I broke it. The grav anchors screamed as they disengaged, metal shrieking before the chains clattered uselessly to the deck. Salith staggered forward, free for the first time in what she later told me was 3 cycles. She stared at her wrists like she didn't trust them to be real. "Go," I said. "Find a ship. Get off station." She looked at me then, not just with her eyes but with something deeper. I felt it like a pressure behind my sternum, a warmth that wasn't physical. "You have altered my path," she said softly. I just opened a lock, I replied. Don't make it bigger than it is. She touched her forehead to mine, an alien gesture that somehow felt intimate, and then she was gone, vanishing into the chaos of the docks. For a while I thought that was the end of it. The syndicate didn't come after me. Karen Station returned to its usual decay. I finished my contract and took a transport toward civilized space, chalking the whole thing up as one impulsive act in a universe that wouldn't notice. 3 days into the voyage, my ship dropped out of FTL without warning. The stars twisted, alarms blared, and for a terrifying second, I thought I'd been intercepted. Then the view screen cleared. A massive vessel hung before us, elegant and impossibly smooth, its hull etched with glowing lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. It dwarfed my transport, blotting out the stars. Unknown ship, the AI stammered. No matching registry. Weapon systems. Not detected. A single message appeared on my console. Permission to dock requested. Against every survival instinct I had, I accepted. The airlock cycled. Light spilled into the corridor, soft and warm. Salith stepped through. She was transformed. No chains. No torn wraps. She wore flowing ceremonial armor that shimmered like liquid starlight, and behind her stood others. Tall Lyrathai figures whose presence made the air vibrate with restrained power. I told them where to find you, she said, a faint smile touching her lips. You are difficult to hide from when one has learned your resonance. I didn't expect this, I admitted. She gestured behind her, and one of the Lyrathai attendants carried forward a small, crystalline object, humming softly. A gift, Salith said. Not as payment. As acknowledgement. What is it? A seed. She explained as we sat in the quiet hum of the docking bay. The Lyrathai had lost their homeworld generations ago, scattered by war and exploitation. The seeds were living archives, compressed ecosystems, histories, genetic libraries, and terraforming blueprints combined into one. Each seed could grow into a world. You gave me freedom, Salith said. And in doing so, you reminded my people what humanity is capable of. Not conquest but choice. My throat tightened. I didn't do it for your people. I did it because it was wrong. She nodded. That is why we chose you. The seed, she told me, was bonded to me now. It would respond only to my presence. Wherever I chose to plant it, the Lyrathai would come, not as rulers but as partners. You're giving me a planet, I said weakly. We are giving you a beginning, she corrected. Before she left, Salith took my hand. You unchained me, she said. In return, I unchain your future. The Lyrathai ship departed in a burst of silent light, leaving my transport drifting among the stars, a small crystal humming in my hands. The galaxy never noticed Karen Station, but it noticed what came next. Years later, historians would call it the first true human-Lyrathai alliance. They would debate politics, economics, and power balances. They would never understand that it began with a single act of defiance on a forgotten station, one human who chose to break a chain, and an alien woman who chose to return not with vengeance, but with hope.